guys, it's Ryan. Thanks for tuning into Theology-ish. Before we jump in, I just want to emphasize that the discussions on this podcast are exploratory in nature, and they do not strictly represent or define our personal stances on the faith, nor the doctrine of our affiliated churches. We encourage listeners to reflect, question, and seek guidance from their local church leaders. Thanks for listening, and enjoy the episode.
Hello, and welcome to Theology-ish. I'm William, one of the hosts. That is Ryan, the other host.
That's me.
And welcome to this. You already know what you're here for. So,
Unless this is your first episode.
If this is your first episode, I'm so sorry.
Hey guys, it's Jesse, and today William thinks that we're going to talk about apologetics, but he's in for a little surprise. So, let's skip this lengthy introduction and get to the fun part.
Probably gonna talk about the history of it a little bit, and that'll be a good time.
I'm now going to tear down your entire reality around you, William. For you have been bamboozled. We are not talking about apologetics today.
Are we talking about Bonhoeffer again?
We're not talking about Bonhoeffer. Today is a very special episode, William.
All right. Because
today, we get to play everybody's favorite game show, Is William Catholic?
No game show music. I mean, I might be, but I don't know that.
And that's exactly what we're going to figure out today.
Okay.
This is everyone's favorite game show, William. All 0 episodes of it are massive hits with our audience.
Oh, okay.
Now, I, as your host, William, am going to guide you through a various number of games and bits and shows in which we are going to be awarding you points. Through these various games, you will have the opportunity to win these points. You will be awarded a point every time you give an answer or opinion that is in line with Catholic doctrine or belief.
So is this like an online personality quiz that's like, are you Catholic, the quiz?
Oh, yeah. But it's
you,
a game show.
Create this yourself?
I did create this myself.
How much time did this take you?
More than I'd like to admit.
Okay.
Now.
When did you decide to do this?
3 weeks ago when I told you we're going to talk about apologetics.
Okay, well,
so
lying's a sin.
It's true, but this is fun.
Okay,
now
I'll allow it.
You will have the opportunity to win a maximum total of 35 points by the end of this episode. If you are awarded 20 or more points, you will be officially deemed Catholic. Once this is done, there's no going back. You can't change it. This is law.
Do I have to go to Mass now?
Maybe. I guess we'll see by the end of this hour.
Have to write Francis and be like, hey, Francis, I'm apparently Catholic.
Now,
maybe we can get him on the podcast.
Now, here's the fun part, William.
Oh, that wasn't the fun part.
No. You get prizes.
Oh, is one of the prizes eternal salvation by being in communion with the Holy Catholic Apostolic Church?
Not quite. But if you look to your right, to the desk sitting to our right, you'll notice 2 gift bags. Those are for you, William. One of those is a Protestant gift packet, and the other is a Catholic gift packet. Whichever you end up being, you will receive the appropriate prize pack.
All right.
I spent real money on this.
Is one like a rosary and the other's like Luther's autobiography or something?
There's more than one thing in each bag.
Okay, well, let's... Do I get to see what the other thing would have been?
If you'd like.
Okay.
Sure.
But, all right, so apparently I lied. My bad. We're not talking about apologetics or church history today. Today we're talking about my tenuous relationship to Protestantism as it currently exists.
Yes. So, now, fair disclaimer: this is a joke. This is for fun. We're having fun here.
I never have fun.
So yeah. Don't get upset if you're Catholic or something and you're like, oh, they're They're bagging on my faith. We're having fun. And also, William has been accused by more than one person of being a closet Catholic, so I think this is going to be good. There's a few.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow. If I'm Catholic, then they're just heretical, so.
Maybe. Well, I, along with the help of ChatGPT, have put together various games. You ready to jump in?
Let's do it.
Well, William, let's jump into game number 1. True or false? In this section, you will be asked a series of true or false questions related to the Catholic Church and doctrine. For each answer that you get correct, you will be awarded 1 point. You can earn a total of 10 points in this section.
All right, so if I get this section right, I'll be halfway to Catholic Town.
If you get all 10 correct.
Okay. All right. Let's go for it.
All right. Question 1. True or false, William? The title Pontifex Maximus was originally used by Roman emperors, but later adopted by the popes of the Catholic Church.
It's false.
Final answer?
Yeah.
You're wrong.
No?
That is true.
All right.
At least according to the minimal research I did for this.
Okay.
Yeah, Pontifex Maximus, used by Roman emperors, and later adopted by the Catholic Church. I have no idea what that actually means.
Big Daddy. That's basic. That's basically what that would mean.
All right.
Because if I'm not butchering my Latin, which admittedly is minimal, Pope is more or less familiar dad.
Huh.
So Pope is kind of Latin for daddy.
Well,
And Maximus would be like great or supreme or something to that matter. So Pontifex Maximus, Big Daddy.
well, look at that. Even during a game of Is William Catholic, we can still learn stuff about church history and Latin.
Yeah, if my Latin's correct, then it very well might happen. But if you know Latin, you're probably not listening to us, so.
Probably not. All right. Second question. William, true or false? The Second Vatican Council, also known as Vatican II, took place in the 16th century and was primarily focused on addressing theological
that's
controversies within the church.
That's false. Vatican II was like 1960 something.
That is correct. That is false. Vatican II took place in the 20th century from 1962 to 1965 and was primarily focused on modernizing and renewing the Catholic Church.
AKA ruining. Next question.
Ooh, you don't want to touch on that?
No. So far, I have 1 point.
That is correct.
All right.
20 or more points, and you're Catholic. Officially.
I don't feel like it's fair to call me Catholic for knowing when Vatican II happened.
Well, William, this is William Catholic, the well-beloved game show that's never had an episode.
Okay.
What is decided on this game show is law.
All right. Next question.
All right. Question 3. True or false, William? The Catholic Church teaches that the doctrine of original sin applies only to Adam and Eve and does not affect their descendants.
No, that's false.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Correct. That is in fact false.
Yeah, original sin is something that we all have except Jesus. And if you're Catholic, probably Mary. That's what the Immaculate Conception's about. She's conceived without original sin in the Catholic understanding of Mary, because otherwise, if she has original sin, then wouldn't Jesus inherit the original sin through Mary? So then they come up with the Immaculate Conception.
Well,
The merits of that you can debate.
here's an idea. Sin entered the world. And creation was cursed through the sin of Adam. So without a human father, would he inherit the original sin?
Well, that is another thing that the medieval Catholics end up touching on. The original sin, in their understanding of it, is inherited through the male contribution to birth. If you know what I mean.
Yes.
So it's traced patrilinearly. Again, the relative merits of that you can debate, but that's one of the spaghettis that they throw at the wall to see what sticks. All right, next question.
All right, William. Question 4. True or false? The term Benedictus refers to the concluding hymn or prayer in the Catholic Mass.
Yeah, that's true.
Final answer?
Yeah.
False.
False? What is
It refers to the canticle sung by Zechariah, also known as the Canticle of Zechariah or the Song of Zechariah, found in the Gospel of Luke.
Oh, of course. I was confusing Benedictus with benediction.
Yes.
That's my B.
How very Protestant of you.
Okay, next one.
All right. Question 5. True or false, William? The Vatican Observatory, established in the 18th century, is one of the oldest astronomical research institutions in the world.
If that is true, I don't think it was established in the 18th century. But I do believe that it is one of the oldest, if not the oldest, astronomical facilities.
Congratulations.
So.
You get a point because that's exactly correct. It is one of the oldest astronomical research institutions in the world, but is actually established in the late 16th century.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, no, 18th century, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
I should get 2 points for that, because
Do you want
I got
2 points?
both things right. No. I'm sure I'll have plenty more.
Well, we've got more than one other game to get through, so.
All right, let's keep it rolling.
Question 6. True or false, William? The Catholic Church considers the veneration of relics, such as the bones of saints, to be mandatory practice for all believers.
I don't think that's right. I don't think it's mandatory.
Final answer?
Yeah.
That is correct. It is not a mandatory practice for all believers. I didn't look into that one too much, so I don't know what the ruling on that is as far as who is supposed to, or when, or how.
If you want to.
But not all believers are required to.
If you want to venerate a saint,
Fair
go
enough.
for it. Otherwise, no point in staring at knuckle bones. But,
Yeah.
let's be honest. If you could pray in your living room, or go to a really cool chapel and pray in front of a glass box that contains the severed hand of St. Peter, if it actually is, no cap, really Peter's hand, where are you going to pray?
I mean,
it would... I'm not going to begrudge anyone for being like, yeah, bro, I'm going to go and pray in front of Peter's hand or at Polycarp's bones or something instead of just at home.
it's fair enough.
Understandable. Whether or not it's right, moot point. It's understandable.
All right. Question 7, William. True or false? The Code of Canon Law, which governs the legal aspects of the Catholic Church, was first compiled in the 12th century under the direction of Pope Gregory IX.
My gut tells me that's wrong.
Final answer?
Yeah.
That is correct. It was first compiled in the early 20th century, with the current version promulgated by Pope John Paul II in 1983.
Ugh, fine. It's one of my least favorite popes.
Really? Do you not like Pope John Paul II?
I don't want to talk about it.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. William hates John Paul II.
Hate's such a strong word, but I do have qualms. As a non-Catholic, Catholics shouldn't care what those qualms are.
As a supposed non-Catholic. We've yet to finish this episode, William.
Fair.
All right, question 8. William, true or false? The doctrine of extra ecclesiasm nulla salus, aka outside the church there is no salvation, implies that salvation is only possible for those who are formally members of the Catholic Church.
No, that's false.
Final answer?
Yeah.
You're wrong.
Only formal members?
According to the minimal research I did,
No, there's...
I want to be clear. I didn't do a ton of research into all of these questions. Some of these were just quick little searches.
Yeah, I don't think that's right. There's a category of Christian that is unaware that they're a Christian, more or less. But
Okay, no, so this is correct. Actually, so this is not necessarily the belief of all Catholics, but the term extra ecclesiam nulla salus is in fact the doctrinal practice that only those inside of the Catholic Church can be saved. That is true.
give me the Latin again.
Extra ecclesiam nulla salus. The expression comes from the writings of Saint Cyprian of Carthage, a Christian bishop in the 3rd century. The phrase is an axiom often used as shorthand for the doctrine that the church is necessary for salvation. It is a dogma in the Catholic Church and the Eastern Orthodox Church in reference to their own communions, according to Wikipedia.
I don't know if that's like full-on official, like you'd find it in a Catholic catechism.
Well,
but,
Wikipedia...
I'll take the...
Wikipedia called it dogma, which...
Wikipedia is useless for everything pertaining to theology and the church. Absolutely useless.
I don't think that's 100% true.
Well, not absolutely useless. But once you start getting into anything specifics outside of dates and names,
well,
not even.
In any case,
but we'll take the...
That is what that term means.
Right.
So you did get that wrong.
I mean, the question wasn't, is that what the terms means? It was...
It was, though.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it's the doctrine of extra ecclesiam nulla salus implies that the salvation is only possible for those who are formally members of the Catholic Church. That was the question.
That's fair. That's fair.
Your inability to understand these questions doesn't stop the ever-moving machine that is this game show, William. We're
harsh.
moving on to question 9. True or false, William? The Filioque controversy, which contributed to the Great Schism between the Eastern Orthodox Church and the Catholic Church, concerns the addition of the phrase, "and the Son," to the Nicene Creed.
That's true.
That is, in fact, true. And, that one should be something that every Christian should know, I think.
The Holy Spirit proceeds from the Father and the Son.
Yeah, I don't think that one should be strictly Catholic. I think Protestants should know that too.
Well,
but
I mean, Protestants should know a lot of these. So
yeah.
A lot of that was just history.
Well, we have one more for this section,
all right.
William. Question 10. True or false? The Society of Jesus, also known as the Jesuits, was founded by Ignatius of Loyola in the 16th century as a response to the Protestant Reformation.
I think the Jesuits were founded earlier than that. That might be true, but I think the Jesuits were founded earlier.
So which is it? True or false?
16th century?
16th century.
I'm going to go with false. I think the Jesuits were earlier than that. Wait, no. Sure, we'll say true.
Final answer?
Yeah, final
That
answer.
is correct. It was the 16th century.
Hey.
Well, That concludes the true or false section. Let's take a short break to discuss the current state of things, William. How many points are you at?
I counted 7.
7 total points.
I got 3 wrong, right?
I believe so.
All right. Yeah.
Which means you are 13 points short of being deemed officially and unarguably a Catholic.
If I end up being Catholic after like section 2, do we just end the show? Or?
Oh no, we're gonna keep going.
We're gonna see how Catholic.
Yeah, and we've got to squeeze an hour out of this.
Okay. All right. What's our next Catholic game?
Well, before we jump into that, I want to ask you, William, what are you gonna do if you're Catholic? What's the move for William? Are you gonna start going to mass and partaking in the veneration of saints and praying the rosary? What's the move for William?
You know those little candles that have pictures of blessed holy saints on them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably start by getting one of those.
So, you know what a pocket saint is?
I'm gonna guess that I know, just based off the name.
Yeah, so this is something I learned just yesterday, actually. So this is a thing. You can go out and buy these. They're little, maybe like half-inch statues of little saints that have a little like cylindrical container. You can carry them around in your pocket. They're called pocket saints. They are based on a practice from World War II in which Catholic people during the war, Americans, I think, mostly, they would want to carry around little saints with them that they could pray over and things like that. So what, excuse me, what chaplains would do when they were sending people out is they would take a bullet casing, they would carve out a little window in it, and then they would basically weld or glue in some fashion a little statue of a saint inside the bullet casing, and they would carry it around in their pockets. And that became a really big practice for religious people during the war. Those are becoming incredibly hard to find, apparently, today, like the ones that were actually made during the war, and are going for a hefty sum of money. But people make modern ones now that are fashioned after the ones from the war, and I happened to see one in the store yesterday, and I looked at it because I saw them lined up on the shelf, and I went, are those bullets? Are those just stray bullets? And I picked one up and realized, oh, it's a pocket saint. And the modern ones are designed to look like bullets because that's what the old ones were made of.
Interesting.
So there's a little fun history for you.
That is fun.
Yeah, so maybe you need to get yourself a pocket saint.
I'm probably not going to do that.
Oh, okay. I think they're kind of cool.
I mean, yeah, it is kind of cool, but
all right.
One.
Well, let's jump into section 2. Game 2. Are you ready, William?
Sure.
Because it's time for Catholic Trivia. Again, we have 10 questions, which means a potential 10 points that you can earn in this section. Are you ready?
Yes.
Question 1. Who was the first pope to be canonized as a saint?
Can I get multiple choice options, or is it just I gotta know straight from the dome?
I didn't prep for multiple choice, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know any of the popes offhand other than Pope Francis.
I mean, you could always just be like, Gregory, Urban, Gregory. There's a lot of
That's true.
So I'm gonna err on the side of caution. Well, let's hear. I knew this about a week ago.
Did you?
I did, but I don't know it now. I'm gonna say.
Would you like a hint? I can offer you.
What letter does it start with?
It starts with an L. Pope Saint.
Probably Leo.
You think Leo?
I'm gonna go with Leo.
Final answer?
Yep.
That is correct. Pope Saint Leo the First. I'll count it without the first there. Also known as Leo the Great, apparently.
He was a good one. Some would even say a great one.
All right. Question 2. Which ecumenical council declared the doctrine of the Immaculate Conception to be an official dogma of the Catholic Church?
I think that was Vatican II. It might be Trent. I'll say Trent.
Trent, final answer? Wrong. It was Vatican I.
Ah, dang.
The very first Vatican Council.
Dang.
All right. I feel like even you should know this. I knew this. Shocking.
All right, hit me with it.
Who follows Saint Peter, the supposed first pope, in the apostolic succession?
Peter, Linus, Anacletus, Clement.
That is correct. It is, in fact, Pope, or depending on who you ask, Saint Linus. Because when I was getting these questions together, I wanted to double check to make sure I had that right. And obviously Pope Linus is correct, but it also gave me Saint Linus. But as we just covered, Leo I was the first pope to be officially sainted by the Catholic Church, so I'm a little confused by that.
Those early guys, they kind of get a free pass to sainthood.
Well, good job. All right.
Some sources dispute Linus is the first one.
Really?
Sometimes Clement's put directly after.
Oh, yeah. I don't think that's right, though.
Probably not. I think Linus is probably fair. All right.
Question for William. Who is the patron saint of astronomers?
St. Nicholas?
Final answer?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No, it is Saint Dominic.
Yeah, there was no way I was going to know that one.
All right, question 5. Which Catholic saint is known as the apostle to the Gentiles?
Oh, that's Paul.
Yeah, it's Saint Paul.
Yeah. Easy.
That one was easy. All right, question 6. What is the term for the cloth that covers the altar in a Catholic church? There are 2 answers that I will accept.
The altar cloth.
That is correct.
Oh, really?
The 2 acceptable answers are the altar cloth or the altar linen. Look how Catholic you are, William.
All right, that's fine.
All right, question 7. Which Catholic religious order was founded by Saint Dominic in the early 13th century?
The Dominicans.
I'm debating if I accept that as an answer, because it's sort of correct. I'm not going to accept that.
Okay.
We're not going to count that. The acceptable answers were the Order of Preachers or the Dominican Order. I don't think the Dominicans is sufficient.
Dominican Order, Dominicans.
I'm going to say that doesn't count because I am the host of this well-respected game show, and that's that.
Fair enough. I was 50% right on that one.
You were.
Yeah.
But 50% isn't sufficient, 50%, I'm afraid.
If I'm 75% right, I think it should count. That's a passing grade. 50%.
Yeah.
Not so much.
Yeah. All right.
It's fair.
Question 8. Which Marian apparition is associated with the city of Lourdes in France? Lourdes in France. The city of Lourdes.
I have no idea. One of them?
You're at least some percent correct.
That time Mary showed up as an apparition? Is it the one with St. Bernard?
Maybe, maybe not.
If it's the one with St. Bernard, then it's the Lactatio Bernardi. If it's not the one with St. Bernard, then I have no idea.
I'm afraid that is incorrect.
Okay.
The answer is Our Lady of Lourdes. Lourdes. Our Lady of Lourdes.
It's a succinct name.
Yeah. All right. Question 9. William, what is the term for the ceremonial washing of the feet during the Catholic Holy Thursday liturgy? He's thinking, ladies and gentlemen.
Foot washing time? Time they wash feet. Thursday foot washing time.
Final answer?
Yeah, I have no idea.
I'm afraid that's false. The answer
Yeah.
is the mandata or the Moundy.
All right.
Well, question 9, William. Sorry, 10. Question 10. Last question for this section. Who is the current prefect of the Congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith, the Vatican office responsible for promoting and safeguarding the doctrine on faith and morals? I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
Because there's no way you'll get this otherwise. This fellow's name is a name we have already discussed.
Is it Francis?
No,
It's not Francis.
it's not Francis.
Is it a guy named Leo? Is it a guy named Paul?
No, I also misread. It's not one of the names we...
Oh, well,
I'm just an idiot. I can't read.
then I have no idea. Steve. Steve the Cardinal in charge of morals and doctrine.
If only. I'm afraid the answer is Cardinal Luis Ladria Ferrer.
Bruh, I got the Cardinal part right.
Ladaria.
That's like 25% correct.
Yeah.
Still wrong, but I was 25% there.
Well,
Should get partial
let's
credit.
take another short intermission and discuss the current state of things. William, how many points do you have?
I have a total of 11. I got 4 right that time, so
Total of 11.
yeah.
You're 9 short of reaching the precipice of becoming a Roman Catholic.
Does it have to be Roman Catholic? Can I be like Byzantine Catholic? Can I be like
I mean, there's like Eastern Catholic. Or,
Eastern Catholic? There are several dozen types of Catholicism other than Roman Catholic that are in full communion with Rome. So I got options.
fair enough. Well, how you feeling? We've got, gosh, that's 20 questions we've been through. We got 15 more. 15 more questions before we draw our conclusions. How are you feeling?
I feel like I'm probably going to end up Catholic.
You think so?
I mean, I've gotten an average of like 6 questions right per section. Got 2 more sections. I only need 9 more points. I'm probably going to end up Catholic.
Maybe.
Seems likely.
Let's talk about how you're feeling. How do you feel about being deceived about today's episode and what we'd be doing and what we're currently doing?
I'm perplexed by how much effort you've put into this, but
You'd be perplexed how much money I spent on it, too. Now, here's the good news. Whichever gift packet you don't get, I get to keep the other one because I bought it. So, at the very least, I'll get some use out of some of this.
okay.
Yeah, I did spend a
I mean, you could always
little bit of money.
you could return the other thing.
That is true. That is an option.
Oh, is it like a Lego set of like a Catholic cathedral?
That would be hilarious. I wish.
Ah,
That's an excellent idea, though. I think a couple of them are going to make you chuckle.
okay. Well,
A couple of them are a little more serious, but I think one of them in particular is really going to make you chuckle.
all right. One year for Christmas, my sister got me a DVD.
Okay.
This was, if I'm recalling correctly, the only thing she got me this Christmas.
Okay.
And she was an adult at the time, so it was like not something that a 16-year-old got because they couldn't get anything else. An adult woman saw this item at a Goodwill and thought, I'm going to buy that for my brother. It was a DVD copy of the coronation ceremony for Pope John Paul II. That is what she got.
Oh, man. That's incredible.
I wasn't even that Catholic at the time. She just thought it would be funny to get it to me.
That is funny.
Well, to you, I wanted something like a sweatshirt or whatever. I never even opened it. I mean, why? Why? When am I going to sit down and watch the coronation? Of
I don't know, but it is funny.
It is kind of funny. Anyway, what's our next?
Well, William, we're going to get a little personal now.
Ah, jeez.
Because it's that time of the game show.
Should I lay down on the couch like we're at therapy?
Maybe. You might want to because it's that time in the show where we enter the confession booth.
Oh, no. Confession.
Now, William,
Protestant's worst nightmare.
nice thing about this section is you get to help me.
Oh, great.
Because this one is, this one's a little more personal. I'm going to ask you your personal opinions on certain Catholic beliefs and doctrine. And we are going to determine if your beliefs are in line with the Catholic doctrine or if they're more Protestant in nature.
Okay.
So you get to help me decide that just a little bit.
All right.
And for each answer that you give that is more in line with the Catholic doctrine than a Protestant doctrine, you will receive a Catholic point.
Okay. How many of these are there?
There are 10 of these.
10. Okay.
Question 1. What are your thoughts on the doctrine of transubstantiation, which teaches that the bread and wine used in the Eucharist become the body and blood of Christ?
How do you feel about Aristotelian metaphysics?
I am tangentially interested.
Because if you're pro-Aristotelian metaphysics, transubstantiation makes a heck of a lot of sense. If you're indifferent to or adverse to Aristotelian metaphysics, then it doesn't work so well. I'm a big fan of the Eastern Orthodox position that sometimes uses the language of transubstantiation now, but historically has maintained that Christ is truly and specially present in the bread and wine following consecration, but the exact mechanism of how is a mystery.
That answer sounds more Eastern Orthodox to me than Catholic.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say that's not a Catholic answer.
Okay.
I'd say that's Eastern Orthodox. Congratulations! Question 2, Willie. Have you ever participated in a Catholic sacrament, such as confession, communion, or confirmation, outside of your own Protestant faith tradition?
I have. I went to Mass one time, and I didn't know I wasn't supposed to do this. I went up and I received the Holy Eucharist. I didn't realize that was against the rules at the time, so I received the Eucharist once.
Because it was outside the rules, should that count? Should we count that? Since you didn't know you weren't supposed to?
If I knew I wasn't supposed to, I might have done it anyway.
You think so?
I might have. I don't know.
Let's make that the line then. If you would have done it anyway, we'll call it a Catholic point. If you would have done it anyway, we'll call that Protestant. If you wouldn't have done it anyway, we'll call that Catholic.
If I knew that I wasn't supposed to, I probably would have been respectful of it. I probably would have not gone up. So
we'll call that Catholic then. That's a Catholic point. All right. Question 3. Do you ever find yourself drawn to Catholic rituals or practices, such as lighting candles, praying the rosary, or observing Lent?
I tried to observe Lent this year. It didn't go super hot for me. I was trying to fast meat. I like meat. Yeah. I frequently make the sign of the cross, so I think that probably counts as... Does it? You ever seen a Protestant make the sign of the cross? Is that a thing Protestants do?
I think there are Protestant groups that do that.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure, don't quote me on this, but I think that might be like Anglicans might do that kind of thing.
Probably so.
Lutherans, I wouldn't be surprised. Some of the higher liturgy
probably
churches. I don't think that's inherently Catholic.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, I light candles all the time, but not like.
I don't think that counts. We'll call that Protestant.
Okay.
All right. Have you ever had a discussion or debate with Catholic friends or acquaintances about matters of faith? And if so, what are some points of contention or agreement?
No, I've never. I've never had an extensive dialogue with a Catholic person.
I'd say that's pretty Protestant then.
Yeah, I don't befriend people that are Catholic, so.
All right. Question 8.
8?
Yeah.
It'd be 5.
5?
Yeah.
I missed a couple.
Yeah.
Oh, no. That's okay.
Question 8. Jeez.
I'm just dumb. All right, here we go. Question 5. How do you personally interpret the role of Mary, the mother of Jesus, within the Christian faith?
Apart from Christ, Mary is the most important person to have ever lived. She is the Theotokos, and anyone that says otherwise can fight me.
That's a hot take for a Protestant.
Who would you put as the second most important person after Jesus?
The second most important person.
The second most important human person to ever live after Jesus.
I think David might maybe possibly be more important. King David. And or possibly. I don't know. I think it was David whom God promised that through the line of David, it was promised that a ruler would come, a king would come.
And Mary is the one through the line of David who finished the work.
Yes, but without David, there is no Mary.
Without Mary, there is no Jesus. So if you're going to go with that line of thought, Mary's going to be more important.
I think...
Unless we want to have an infinite regress problem of everyone's parent being more important than their progeny. In fact, I think the further back we go, the less important the ancestor becomes. And
I
because
think
Mary's the immediate one.
You could make an argument for Adam and Eve as well, because they're the first people, and also through their sin, we're where we're at now. It's kind of Adam and Eve that kickstarted this whole thing. So I think Adam and Eve might actually possibly be arguably more important.
Nah.
Without Adam and Eve, there is no need for Christ to come in the flesh. For sin would not have entered the world.
I'm not talking about counterfactuals of what could have happened. I'm talking about what did happen. And as it did happen, I'm gonna have to go with Mary.
I'd call that a Catholic answer then.
Yeah, that's fine. Mary's the Theotokos, but the God bearer.
Well, that's pretty Catholic.
Yeah.
All right. Question 6. Do you ever find yourself in theological agreement with certain Catholic teachings or doctrines despite being a Protestant? I think I know the answer to this one.
Yes.
Which ones?
I don't know. Get everything Trinitarian. The Catholics got their Trinity thing on lock.
Is that inherently Catholic, though?
It was Catholic first.
I suppose.
And the Catholics do a better job of holding true to Trinitarian doctrine than non-denominational / unincorporated Baptist or whatever.
Okay.
Certain Pentecostal traditions, which is where I come out of, that they struggle with their Trinitarian doctrine not being heresy. So,
okay.
I'm going to give it to the Catholics on that.
All right. Question 8. How do you view the authority of the Pope within the context of Christianity, particularly as a Protestant?
Or are we including the idea of papal infallibility in that? Or
as the Pope is and as the Catholics view the Pope, how do you feel about that?
I think the apostolic see of the Bishop of Rome, I think it's probably appropriate for that to have a special authority within the church overall. I also think that the idea that the Pope, as the Bishop of Rome and the Vicar of Christ, can speak ex cathedra and just declare, if he invokes ex cathedra, he is now speaking infallibly, and he can say things that are for sure now the way it is. I think that's sloppy and not good. I think good Catholics probably have beef with every pope.
Okay, we'll call that a Protestant answer then.
Okay.
Because it is the Catholic doctrine, it is their belief that the Pope is infallible and does speak
When he
for God.
invokes ex cathedra.
Yes, and
It's not everything
I'm
the
not
Pope says.
square with that personally,
It's
but
not everything
I'm
the Pope
Protestant,
says,
so.
but if the Pope invokes ex cathedra, he can speak that way.
Yeah, and I agree. I think that is sloppy.
That's sloppy. Whether or not it's right, I'm going to table that. It's sloppy.
We'll call that a Protestant answer.
Okay.
All right. Question 9. Have you ever felt conflicted about aspects of your Protestant faith in relation to Catholic beliefs or practices?
Yeah.
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 Anything in particular you want to poke at, or just leave it at that?
Lately, I've been, something interesting about doing this podcast is that it has forced me through the process of conversation and research to evaluate some of my own positions. And if you asked me a year ago how I felt about sola scriptura, I'd probably be like, oh, yeah, it's fair, reasonable, makes sense. And now I have less charitable feelings about that because, as we discussed in a previous episode that we did recently, you don't get the Bible without the church. You don't get the Trinity as we have it now without some type of tradition. If we don't have councils and whatnot that we allow to be authoritative for our religion, then every issue is always an open issue, and we constantly would have to debate things that were settled in the year 410. So, I'm like, I think sola scriptura is probably busted. That it's not a sufficient bit of teaching, you know?
Okay.
We need church tradition, and we need councils and whatnot.
Well, I'll call that Catholic.
Yeah, it's probably pretty
So.
Catholic.
Final question for this section, William. If given the opportunity, would you consider attending a Catholic Mass or participating in Catholic sacraments as a form of spiritual exploration or curiosity?
I mean, yeah, I already went to Mass once because I was curious.
Well, there you go then.
Oh.
Catholic. All right. That is the end of our confession booth session, William. Let's talk points. How are we looking?
I have 16 points now.
16 points. You're right on the verge. Now, we have one more section.
All right. It's 5 questions.
5? Not questions, quite.
Oh.
For we are moving to St. Peter's Gate.
The eschatology of the Catholic Church.
Not quite. Well,
Oh.
sort of, yeah.
Okay.
We're going to be going over a few moral dilemmas.
Jeez.
And you have to tell me how you would approach this moral dilemma, and we're going to compare that to how the Catholic Church might probably respond.
Is it the trolley problem?
That might be one of them.
Okay.
And we're gonna.
The answer is I pull the lever,
Ooh.
and I do it without remorse.
We're gonna-
every time.
Let's move into St. Peter's Gate here. There are 5 dilemmas. We're gonna try and move kinda quick here so we don't go too far over for Jesse's sake. Thanks, Jesse.
Thanks,
Love you.
Jesse.
All right.
You know, it's weird. Jesse has listened to me talk about things for probably like 40 hours cumulatively at this point. And I've had like 15 minutes of FaceTime with Jesse ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he probably knows me far better than I know him.
Yeah. And if Jesse's been doing as I asked him to for this episode, there should be sound effects and game show music and audience cheering and all that fun stuff.
Like slide whistles.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. Moral dilemma.
All right.
Hit me with it.
St. Peter's Gate, Moral Dilemma 1, the Interfaith Marriage Dilemma. William, a devout Protestant, is in a serious relationship with someone who is Catholic. They both deeply love each other, but struggle with the question of which church to attend and how to raise their future children. What should William do in this situation?
What should I do? Am I one of them?
You are one of the people in the relationship. What do you do?
Unpopular opinion, you break up. There are plenty of lovely people who are devout in both Protestantism and Catholicism who are single and who are ready to mingle. And I think that the idea of quote-unquote the one is BS. I think that you pick someone and you love them and you choose them over other options. So if this is like a serious thing that you're looking at, or like you're Protestant and you're dating a chick and she's Hindu, or like you're Catholic and you're dating a guy and he's Muslim, and you're like, oh, well, what do we do? You break up with them and you find someone from your own tradition who lines up with your values. It is a move of integrity for you to do that.
So C.S. Lewis touches on this in Mere Christianity, which I finished just a little bit ago. Talks about how when you're in a relationship, in a marriage, and mind you, he's writing this as, at the time, an unmarried person.
Right.
So he's not speaking from experience, but I think he is right. He makes the point that, there are going to be days in a marriage where you're not in love, where you don't just love your spouse, but you make the conscious choice to love them. You go out of your way to love your spouse, even when you aren't necessarily, quote, in love with your spouse.
Yeah, and you choose them, and you choose them this morning, and this afternoon, and tomorrow morning, and you continue to choose them because you made a vow. But until you make that vow, you are free to choose somebody else, baby. Cut it off. Like,
well,
you don't have to date the...
Well, so your answer, do we feel that lines up with what the Catholic Church would teach us to do?
I think that's probably pretty Catholic.
You think so?
The Catholics would allow for an interfaith relationship provided that the children are raised Catholic.
Okay, well, we'll call that a Catholic point then. 4 more questions, William, and only 3 points to become Catholic. You have to get 3 more of these in line with the Catholics.
Have to.
If you want to be Catholic. All right, the contraception question. William and his spouse are considering using contraception for family planning purposes. While William's Protestant denomination may allow for contraception, the Catholic Church teaches against it, considering it contrary to natural law and God's plan for procreation. How should William navigate this difference in beliefs within his own marriage?
If it is God's will that a person be born, I don't think that the use of latex or chemical agents will prevent that. If you would like to draw a line in the sand and say, insofar as my will is concerned, I do not want children, go ahead. But I don't think it will impede God's ability to have something happen.
Let's take it a step further and say you go get the snip. You go do the thing. Scientifically, we can say pretty certainly that's going to prevent you from having kids.
Unless God wants you to.
So you think that it doesn't really matter that much?
Yeah. I think that you are free to draw a line in the sand and say whether or not you want children, but I think that I don't think that it will impede God's perfect will from coming into fruition.
Okay, so is that Catholic? Is that a Catholic?
No, the Catholics would be upset with me for that.
Okay, all right, cool. Protestant, which means you have to get the next 3 dilemmas. You have to give 3 Catholic answers in a row.
All right.
Otherwise, you're Protestant.
All right, hit me with it.
All right. The ethical investigating dilemma. William, as an investigator, is considering purchasing stocks in a company that produces contraceptives or engages in activities contrary to Catholic moral teachings, such as promoting abortion or exploiting workers. How should William approach investing in light of his Protestant beliefs and potential conflicts with Catholic teachings on social justice?
There is no ethical consumption or investing under capitalism. Make the best choices you can, but If you invest in Hershey chocolate, then you are investing in child slavery. If you invest in Boeing, you are investing in murdering whistleblowers. Come for me, Boeing. I dare you.
I just booked flights and we're not using Boeing.
If you, you're probably using Boeing if you're on a jet.
We actually went out of our way to make sure that
Really?
the flight we take isn't on a Boeing plane.
Okay. Well,
That's
all right.
unironic.
If you invest in Tesla, you're investing in slavery because they use slave labor to get lithium out of mines over in parts of Africa. So you can't purchase or consume or invest without having your moral purity compromised. Make the best decisions you can, but know that you're gonna be engaging with stuff you don't want to engage with. Your other alternative is to become Amish and grow all your own food.
I think that's a fairly Catholic answer, because I feel that the Catholic Church would agree that investing in capitalism means investing in bad things. That's that. And maybe you ought to avoid
Not to
investing in bad things very specifically.
I think you can make an argument that investment is ultimately usury. You're charging interest on the people, and the Catholics would say that that's bad anyway. So the Catholics might have beef with the money market account that you have. So,
I think that's a fairly Catholic answer. So
Yeah,
we'll call
probably.
that Catholic. All right. The LGBTQ plus inclusion challenge. William is a member of a Protestant congregation that is divided over the issue of LGBTQ plus inclusion and affirmation within the church. While his denomination may have varying stances on the LGBTQ plus rights, the Catholic Church maintains traditional teachings on marriage and sexuality. How should William reconcile these different perspectives within his faith community?
So my brother's gay.
Yes.
Had a cousin that was gay. He went to a Methodist church until he eventually took his own life.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah. R.I.P. cousin Ronnie. It's part of the reason I decided to grow a beard. Because he looked very similar to me, but like 20 years older, and he had a beard. He looked good with that beard.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'm gonna grow a beard. Anyway, that said, there are people in my life who I want good things for and care very deeply for that are members of the LGBTQIA plus community, the alphabet people, as it were.
Yes.
Christianity is, unless you're a Calvinist, a voluntary community. You don't have to participate in this thing. If you choose to participate in this thing, then there are certain requirements of you. And the requirements of you are not easy and are not cheap. And if you are a person who is LGBTQIA+, and you choose to participate in the Christianity thing, what it might require of you is celibacy. I'm going to always err on the side of a traditional Christian sex ethic, which is to say, between a husband and wife and anything outside of the husband and wife, male and female, marriage relationship, any sexual activity outside of that is against the rules. But you don't have to be part of this thing where those rules are imposed on you. If you choose to participate, them's the rules. You got to work with it. So I'm pretty in line with the Catholic.
Yeah, I'd say that's fairly Catholic.
Yeah.
Call that a Catholic point. Well, I didn't think this was actually going to happen, William. But we're down to the last question, and you
this
are
is the
1
decider.
point short of being deemed Catholic. This is it.
Dang.
This, all the chickens are in one basket. All the eggs. Eggs, not chickens.
What great high drama, man.
All the eggs are in one basket, William. Are you going to drop it?
I don't know.
Let's find out. This is the final dilemma. This is for all the money. All right. The social justice advocacy dilemma. William, inspired by his Protestant faith's emphasis on social justice, wants to actively engage in advocacy and activism for causes such as poverty, alleviation, racial justice, and environmental stewardship. However, he may encounter resistance or differing priorities with his Protestant community. How should William balance his passion for social justice with potential tensions within his faith community?
If my faith community does not affirm the inherent dignity of all races, If my faith community does not want to alleviate the suffering from poverty and has the means to do so, if my faith community is not interested in good environmental stewardship, which is to say that they're open to raping the land for everything it's worth, if my faith community does not want to clothe the naked, feed the hungry, house the homeless, etc., etc., that ain't my faith community no mo. I would leave if I was like, hey guys, let's not dump toxic sludge into the river. And also, let's feed hungry people. And my church people were like, that sounds liberal. I would be like, I'm not hanging out with this guy. He's a jerkwad. So that's my answer. I would find a group of Christians whose values align with mine.
Now,
Whether or not
question
that's
becomes, is that a Catholic answer? This is for all the money.
I don't know. As the our MC, you got to determine if that's Catholic of me or not.
I have to determine.
Yeah, I can't determine. Yeah. I think it's a reasonable answer.
I think it's a reasonable answer as well. And I'm Protestant. I almost wonder if this could go both ways, because I feel like that's
I feel like it could.
I feel like that's a reasonable answer for either side. Like, if your Catholic buddies or your Protestant buddies weren't square with that kind of thing, you should probably find some new buddies to hang out with.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of middle of the road. So how do we decide?
I mean, you could flip a coin.
You want to flip a coin on this?
Flip a coin.
We're gonna flip I'm gonna flip a coin on my phone.
All right. The future is now. Hey, Google.
All right.
Flip a coin.
Heads or tails, Catholic?
I'm going to go with heads as being Catholic because it came first.
All right. Heads is Catholic. All the money. All right. Here we go. It's flipping, and tails!
I'm Protestant. Okay.
You are officially a Protestant church member. Welcome to the fold, brother.
So, everyone that's listened to this and thinks I'm Catholic, there you go.
It's
I'm
official.
Not. I'm Protestant.
What happens?
It's proven with science.
What happens on this game show is law. And that coin flip was random chance, which tells me the Lord wanted you to be Protestant because he could flip tails.
All right. So, what's
Are you ready to receive your gift packet, William?
Yes.
Your
I'm
prize.
I'm ready to receive
As the
Protestant
only
prize.
contestant in this game show, your mandatory prize.
Okay.
All right, if you want to grab those 2 bags, you can keep the Easter bag for yourself and give me the other one, because that's the stuff I'm going to keep. We'll let you go first as the contestant.
These bags weigh like 50 pounds.
All right, William.
Okay.
Open it up and tell us what's inside your bag.
Oyster crackers
Plain crackers,
and grape juice
100% alcohol-free grape juice.
for my Protestant.
There's more.
The 500-year anniversary Lutheran coloring book, so that way I can color.
It's a Martin Luther coloring book,
Color.
William.
Are there mazes in this?
There are mazes.
Yes! I love mazes, man. They amaze me.
Ooh, there's more.
A New Testament and Psalms in IV pocket Bible.
Yes.
Excellent.
And there's one more thing for you.
And a $10 Chick-fil-A gift card.
Congratulations. Welcome to the Protestant fold, brother. We've been waiting for you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to compete.
Well, allow me to show you what you could have had. What you could have had, William, is a fresh, beautiful, comfort edition Catholic Holy Bible
Nice.
with an apocrypha and all.
It's beautiful. It's actually a very nice Bible.
It's used, believe it or not.
Really?
Half-price books, man.
Hey.
It's in great shape, though.
It's in very good shape. Still in the box.
Still in the box, hardcover.
Gilded edges.
White gilded edges. It's got practically no wear and tear. Apocrypha and all.
Oh, and it's red letter. Nice.
Yeah. And
You can read the actual Bible. Get your bonus.
you missed out on a rosary. I went to a local Catholic store and bought this rosary from the fellow that owns the store. This is a vintage rosary. It's older, it's made of wood, it's carved, it's very nice. It's a lovely rosary. I had got it a little holding bag as well, a carrying bag.
Are you going to be praying the rosary now that you've got the rosary?
Maybe.
So if I end up with the Protestant bag, does that make you de facto Catholic? You're Catholic now?
Pass.
You're now Catholic. Congratulations.
Yeah, so that Catholic store I went to, the owner who I was talking to, Mike, very lovely fellow, very friendly. He was the one who was telling us about the pocket saints. He had an original pocket saint from World War II that he showed us. It was super cool. Very friendly fellow. He makes custom rosaries that he sells at his shop. This is not one of the custom ones because those were expensive.
Right.
But this is a vintage
Did
rosary.
he explain how to pray the rosary to you?
He did not. I think he just assumed I'm Catholic because I was shopping in his Catholic store.
Where's it at without doxing the guy?
It is in downtown Miamisburg, Ohio.
Okay.
Go check it out. It's actually a super cool little shop. They've got a lot of really cool stuff.
Probably have like some books I might be interested in.
Yeah, they've got tons of books. They have a ton of rosaries. Obviously, they've got crucifixes and art, and they've got stuff with the saints. It's super cool. It was a lovely little time shopping there with my mother. I was also in this bag going to include a custom-made papal indulgence, good for one free sin, but I never got around to it, unfortunately. But I suppose I'm keeping this Catholic Bible and rosary.
Well, I hope that they serve you well, and many happy returns.
Well, before we close out, I've got to ask William, how does it feel to be Protestant, officially and definitively?
You know, I'm not sure how definitive it was since that last one was decided by a coin flip.
It was decided by God, William.
Okay. Well, yeah, it's fine. I feel the same as I did before doing this, so
Well,
nothing's changed.
well, there you have it, folks. William is not a closet Catholic. He is, in fact, a Protestant.
Officially Protestant. So.
Officially Protestant, and he believes all of the Protestant Baptist-y things.
All of them?
All of them.
Oh, jeez.
Down to the T.
Okay.
And that's official.
That's fine.
We're a few minutes over, so thank you so much for listening. Thank you for tuning into this week's episode of Is William Catholic? The game show where we officially and definitively decide if William is Catholic.
Next time we'll play Is Ryan a Heretic? And he'll have to have theology opinions about things, and
I'll have
if they're
to
wrong,
articulate
he's a
the
heretic.
Trinity without doing Sabellianism.
You got to do it perfectly, or else you're a heretic.
Yeah, but
All
that's
right,
it for
well,
us.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in to my Inquisition here.
Yes, and I promise you next time we record, we will actually do an episode on apologetics, and I won't deceive you.
All right. Well, thank you all for listening. If you want to get in touch with us, you can email us at theology-ish@gmail.com.
Check out the website.
Check out the website. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and leave a 5-star review. It really helps other people find us. What also helps other people find us is if you send a link to our show to your friends and family and say, these guys are funny sometimes.
I thought this was entertaining.
Yeah. So, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.